Duncan, welcome to Take It Work. Now, last week was a big week for local fixed line operator Telkom with the appointment of their new CEO, Pinky Moholi. Is this finally a step in the right direction for the troubled operator?
I think it is. Telkom has been through so many challenges over the last few years. I think they've been through 4 CEOs in the last 5 or 6 years. And one hopes that Pinky Moholi's appointment as Group CEO is going to bring some level of stability to the top of Telkom. It's facing a number of challenges. It's facing more competition today than it ever has in the past. It's had a lot of challenges in the previously with its Africa strategy, particularly in Nigeria. And here in South Africa, it's facing regulatory pressures and competitive pressures. So it's absolutely critical, vital that Telkom has stability at the top, and hopefully Pinky Moholi is going to deliver that.
A lot of pressure to start off with. What is the general sentiment among companies and journalists on the ground?
Well, I've spoken to quite a lot of analysts about their views of Pinky Moholi's appointment, and it's generally been welcomed. I think Telkom has had some challenges in the past with the appointment of CEOs who perhaps weren't qualified for the position. I think Pinky Moholi has the experience. She's been at Telkom since the mid-1990s. She understands the business, she understands the politics, how the place works, and she understands the technology as well, which is crucially important in a complex technology-driven industry. So the reaction from the market seems to be generally quite positive.
All right, another local happening just a year after launching their uncapped broadband offering. Local service provider MWeb is offering their low-priced uncapped web hosting plans.
That's right.
What does this mean for business, and what does it mean for consumers?
It's great news. It's really interesting. MWeb has become quite aggressive since last year when they launched their first relatively affordable uncapped broadband ADSL fixed line broadband offerings. And it's literally a year later they've introduced uncapped hosting plans at 19 Rand a month, which is very aggressively priced. Basically, what it means, if you're a small business or an individual and you want to host a website, you don't have to worry about the amount of bandwidth that you consume or your website uses. So it's a great development, and it actually brings South Africa more in line with the sort of pricing that we've seen in markets like Europe and the US. However, this platform is not meant for big business. It's not suitable for big business, but for small guys who want to run a blog, or a small company like a plumber or an electrician who wants to run a website cheaply, this is a wonderful opportunity.
So your SME-based businesses?
Absolutely.
All right, now we're seeing the opposite happening in the US at the moment, the trend towards bandwidth capping.
Yes.
Where's this going to end?
Well, it's still very high caps. AT&T is talking about introducing monthly bandwidth caps of 250 gigabytes a month, which most users would never reach. They're concerned about the proliferation of online video-based services like Hulu, and they're concerned that their network isn't going to be able to support this sort of growth, particularly the growth being driven by video services. In South Africa, we're seeing the opposite trend. We've seen MWeb go uncapped. The rumours in the market that Telkom is going to be introducing uncapped offerings soon. So it's interesting to see that the US market is moving in the opposite direction. It must be said that the US is alone in this. Other developed markets are moving in the other direction. The UK, for example, BT Group has just done away with bandwidth capping on their high-end packages. I think it may be a move by the telcos in the US to try and protect their revenue streams around video services. I think companies like AT&T, for example, want to be big players in the video on demand, pay television over cable markets, and by introducing bandwidth capping, it's going to help protect that side of their business.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen this side. We're barely there yet. Now, Duncan, let's move to some news on the continent. East African giant Kenya is getting their second fibre to the home offering thanks to Orange Kenya. Good news for the country?
It is. It must be stated that this is still on a very limited scale. They're only rolling out to 2 suburbs in Nairobi at the moment. Orange Kenya, of course, used to be called Telkom Kenya. It's the incumbent fixed line operator, which was partially privatized and sold to France Telecom. They've announced that they're going to be doing a fibre to the home project, and it's the second player there after Wenanchi Group, which is backed by Cisco Capital and a number of Kenyan investors. So it's quite exciting for the Kenyan market, and in some ways they got a jump on South Africa in terms of rolling out these sort of systems. However, there is now a local operator called i3 Africa, which is talking very aggressively about rolling out fibre into 2.5 million South African homes over the next 4 to 5 years. They haven't raised their funding yet, so there's still some question marks around it. But it's exciting stuff, and everyone is saying the future of broadband in Africa is mobile. This perhaps is proving that fixed line still has a role to play.